Clara and the Secret Cat Kingdom. Clara cherished her fluffy black cat, Whiskers, more than anything else in the world. Each night, as the moonlight streamed gently through her window, Whiskers would stretch, let out a grand, lazy yawn, and then vanish. Clara often found herself pondering, where did Whiskers go? Where on earth had he gone? One evening, curiosity teased Clara like a feather fluttering beneath her nose. When Whiskers leapt from the windowsill, she couldn't resist. She slipped silently after him. With careful, quiet steps, she descended the stairs, slipped through the back door, and entered the garden shrouded in shadows. Whiskers darted along the fence, then squeezed through a hidden gap Clara had never seen before. Clara, ever the inquisitive soul, wriggled her way through as well. On the other side, her eyes widened in astonishment. This wasn't her garden anymore. This was a realm of cats. They strutted about on two legs, sporting the most whimsical hats, tiny top hats, bonnets adorned with flowers, and even one with a feather stood upright. Quaint shops with miniature doors and windows lined the streets. At the heart of it all thrived a bustling market. Yet, something was amiss. Cats were meowing loudly, their paws waving in alarm. "The milk," lamented a cat wearing a baker's hat. 3 bottles vanished again. Another cat wailed, "And my finest fish." A little creature with a tiny fishing hat disappeared without leaving a clue. "That pesky mouse," grumbled a large ginger cat, a small crown perched on his head. "He's always one step ahead of us. We can never catch him." Clara noticed a quick-footed mouse scurrying between the barrels, his little arms overflowing with fish. "A bottle of milk. That has to be him," she murmured under her breath. With a gentle step forward, she spoke up. "Excuse me," she said with a polite tone. "I can help." The cats turned to her in astonishment. Who would expect a human girl in their market? Whiskers, who had been observing from a distance, purred contentedly and brushed against her leg. The cats, in a moment of desperation, they agreed to try anything. Their initial attempt involved a net, but the mouse dashed right beneath it. Next, they tried using sticky paper. However, the cunning mouse simply leapt over it. On their third attempt, they lined up a squad of cats ready to spring into action, yet the mouse proved too quick, escaping with ease. Clara pondered deeply. Then suddenly, inspiration struck. In her mind, Clara devised a cunning plan. She laid out a path of cheese pieces that led to a secluded spot. Before long, a small nose began to twitch, and the cheeky little mouse peeked out. Drawn by the alluring scent, he eagerly followed the trail, his whiskers dancing with anticipation. Just as he went for the final morsel, "Nap," Clara exclaimed softly as she carefully cradled him in her hands. "Gotcha," she declared with a triumphant grin. Cheers erupted from the cats. They had finally captured the elusive little mouse. But the mouse, his voice a quivering whisper, began to plead. "Please give me a chance to explain." Clara, ever the kind-hearted one. The girl, feeling a tug at her heart, decided to hear him out. "All right," she whispered softly. "Explain why you've been taking the food." The mouse gazed at her with wide, sorrowful eyes. "Please follow me," he implored. Clara, along with a few cats, trailed behind the mouse through a narrow tunnel beneath the shop and into a secret entrance. Once inside, as she peered into the room, a surprising sight awaited her. Countless miniature beds occupied by even smaller mice, all nestled closely together. One mouse spoke gently. "We have no one," he continued. "I had to find them something to eat. They're so very hungry." Clara's heart ached with compassion. Though she knew stealing was wrong, she couldn't shake the understanding that the little mouse was merely striving to care for his own family. "Stealing isn't the answer," Clara softly advised the cheeky little mouse. "There are other ways to help." The cats, once filled with anger, now gazed at the tiny mice, meows fading into gentle whispers. Then, the regal ginger cat with the crown stepped forward. "We had no idea," he murmured quietly. Then, Clara had a spark of inspiration. What if the cats and mice joined forces? She proposed. Both the cats and mice exchanged glances. It was an unusual thought, yet perhaps it might succeed. From that moment on, everything began to shift in the kingdom of cats. The cheeky mouse, known as Squeaky, struck up a friendship with Whiskers. The cats generously shared their fish and milk, and soon, the little mice turned into culinary experts. They mastered the art of creating delightful mini pies and cakes with the berries and nuts the cats fetched. Moreover, they excelled at crafting the finest tiny sandwiches and snacks, using the cheese and fish sourced from the bustling cat market. They rose to fame with their miniature delights, turning the market into the most beloved spot in the feline realm. But above all, they ensured that no one went hungry. Joy returned to the market, echoing with the soothing purrs of cats and the delightful squeaks of laughter. Clara beamed with pride. She had followed her inquisitive. Whiskers, with his keen sense of smell, didn't just stumble upon a hidden kingdom. He uncovered a realm where cats and mice could be allies, lending each other a paw. Each night, as Whiskers vanished into the shadows, Clara understood he was journeying to a joyful land, one where no creature went hungry. All it took was a dash of curiosity and a generous helping of kindness. That's the end of our tale. But wait, before you leave, let's take a moment to wish a very special young lady a happy birthday. She's turning 7 today. Happy birthday, Clara. This story is for you. May your day overflow with joy, laughter, and magical adventures, just like the one we shared.